This is the first tutorial on using the new feature of version 6.22 of ATRpro, which allows you to do a blending of K-line odds and tote odds in order to find efficient Kelly bets. From the opening at the races screen, I'm choosing new format and clicking on the go button. And my first step is to do a study based on HX4 databases of races at a track that I'm interested in. So I'm going to click on the options button, go to the fourth screen, and click on this new button which reads K-line odds tote blending study. When you click on that button, you come up with a new form. I'm going to describe some of the features of this form. The logic used in the Kelly betting has three options. You can use the highest expected growth, the highest probability with expected growth greater than a certain value. In this case, I have it down as 1, or the highest expected growth with including at all times the highest ranked K rank horse. The K rank equals 1 horse. To do a study, I choose one of these options, and then I have to choose a tote odds blending factor. When this blending factor is equal to 1, it weighs the probability from the tote board odds and the probability using the K-line odds equally. If this value is set to 0, it does not use the tote board odds at all in calculating probability for the Kelly calculations. And if you use a large value like 10 for this blend factor, you would be using mostly, you would weigh very heavily the tote odds to find the probability used in Kelly. To start a study, you click on the button which reads Do HX4 Study. The first thing you have to do is identify a track and year. The full, I'm identifying the full path for a track that I'm going to be using in the study. In this case, I'm going to be doing Saratoga in the 2008 season. I click on OK. I choose a starting bankroll, and the default is $10,000. And the first thing we see on this form is the first race of that meet, which was on July 23rd, 2008, race 1. The very first race, these were the names of the horses, these were the program numbers. The first column is highlighted in green to give the horse that won the race. The second column is the horse names. The third column is the K-line odds that you find in the ATRpro software by Ken Massa. The fourth column is the probability, which is the probability based on the K-line odds of each horse winning the race. These values are normalized to 1. The next column is the final tote odds and the probability that you calculate of each horse winning based on those tote odds. In this column, the rows of the horses are labeled green if the tote odds were greater than the K-line odds. So in this case, the 7 horse and the 11 horse had tote odds that exceeded the K-line odds. And the next column is the blended probability. And in this case, since we're using a tote odds blend factor of 1, it will be the average of the tote odds probability and the K-line odds probability. Using the Kelly criteria, it was determined that for this race, the Kelly bet would have been $208 on the 7 horse, which was a losing bet. Okay, at this point, you can click on the next race button to get the next race, which would be Saratoga race 2. The same situation with the winner being in green in the first column, and the bet would have been $50 on the 5 horse, which was a losing bet. Or if you wanted to just fast forward to the end of the study, you could just click on the fast forward button, and it would just do all the races without stopping. And at the end of the fast forward of this complete study, you would see that the ending bankroll is $4,977. So using this combination of just using highest expected growth and a blend factor of 1, you would lose over $5,000. You would have lost over $5,000 at the Saratoga season. On the bottom of the form is a running tabulation of each race, what the expected growth was for the bets made in that race, how much was bet, and the cumulative bankroll at that point. The cumulative summation of all the bets made at that point. So there was a total of $59,000 bet during this season if you had used this logic. Now what I'm going to do is change the total odds blend factor to 10. I'm going to change the strategy to the highest expected growth with the K ranking equal to 1, and I'm going to repeat this study. Automatically it remembers the file that you used in the last study, same bankroll, and I'm going to fast forward to the end. And you can see at this point that using this combination of the highest expected growth with K rank, including the K rank equal to 1 horse, and the total odds blend factor of 10, the bankroll would have increased to 10,443 from 10,000, and going to the bottom of the page, the total bet was $32,413. Just to finish this off, I just brought up an Excel spreadsheet that shows a little study I did for the 2008 Saratoga meeting, and you could see in this case that for these races, the strategy of using the highest expected growth with K rank equal 1 was the best strategy, no matter what from almost all the blend factors. And you can see that as the blend factor increased for the odds, total odds, that the amount of bankroll increased. So it certainly appeared for the Saratoga meet that blending the odds was a very good strategy. That's the end of the first tutorial.